and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we are going to have a look at the AT-15. Yes, we're going to look at this tank, obviously, because the battle pass that is this month, they removed the tanks. So Wargaming removed the battle pass tanks. Now, I don't know what to think of that. Obviously, I like the battle pass tanks because it's a tank. It's almost a free tank, but yeah, they've removed them and they've replaced it with this camouflage. So I don't think the swap is a good deal, to be honest. I would rather a tank than a camouflage. So who knows if tanks are going to come back in the battle passes. We'll find out what the next battle pass is shortly, but we're going to talk about the noble camouflage and of course the AT-15. Now, firstly, I think it looks fantastic. It does really look good. Love obviously the British flag on it, the nettings and stuff like that. My only downfall, now I've got my graphics set on high, and it just doesn't look like, I don't think it looks fantastic the way it is. It just looks like, you know, the graphics are not great on it, and you know, that's my only downfall. If the graphics look really good, then yeah, I think the camouflage will look good, and it is a beautiful camouflage. Like, it really is a sexy camouflage. I just wished it looked more, you know, upgraded. I just wished that I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't think it's my device because I do have all the graphics set on high. But yeah, it's got the opportunity to look so good. So maybe Wargaming will give it the PBR, I don't know. But yeah, so is this what we're going to see going forward? Are we going to see more legendary camouflages in the battle passes for going forward? Like, not just this month, not next month. Like, are we going to have a year worth of legendary camouflages instead of tanks? Who knows? But you know, I don't mind the legendary camouflage, especially if they do start looking like this, you know, like this, or the Borzik, the grill, those kind of camouflages, because they do look really good. So I don't mind that. But yeah, of course, if I had to choose between a camouflage and a tank, I would pick the tank all day long. There was some really good battle pass tanks, you know. There really was some good battle pass tanks, and maybe we'll do a video where we take a look back at the battle pass tanks and just talk about all of the battle pass tanks and maybe rate them from best to worst. Who knows? But for today, let's just look at the AT-15. Now, the AT-15, I've always said, it has the opportunity to be a fantastic tank, and when played correctly, it can be a good tank. The only downfall for this tank for me is the armor profile, because the armor profile isn't special. It really isn't. Actually, it's quite poor. Of course, if you get in the right angles, then yeah, it does become a little bit stronger. But of course, the gun on this, the DPM, absolutely amazing, and I mean like really good. So the whole armor 228. So base, it's not bad, you know. It really isn't bad armor, but there is so many weak points on this tank that you just can't really hide it. DPM, almost 4,000 DPM. Yes, 4,000 DPM in a tier 8 tank is absolutely insane. That is just a 3.43 second on your reload. So yeah, very short. You are constantly firing. You need to constantly fire in this tank to get the damage up, because it hasn't got the greatest of damages, or alpha, shall I say. So you got a 226 AP pen, 258 APCR. So because of the reload is so small, maybe you should run calibrated shells. Doesn't affect the DPM that much, but you will get a little bit more pen. Not that much, because it's APCR and not heat. You get more on heat with that. But yeah, it will help a little bit. So you've got a 225 alpha, 190 on your APCR, and 300 on your HE. So of course, if you can get the HE out, I mean, with just 42 pen, you're not going to pen too much. But you know, Borziks or anything like that comes in front of you, then yeah, you will be able to penetrate those. Dispersion 0.308, and it does have 10 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of just 20 kilometers per hour. So yeah, it's not a quick tank, but that is the problem that people have, like with this tank, is the speed. They don't enjoy it because of the speed. Now, this line was my first ever line that I grinded in the game. Like, it was, I started the line and I finished the line pretty much before I got any other tier. Well, no, sorry. It wasn't I started the line, then I got bored of it. And then I went to the IS-7 line, the T-54, T-62 sort of line. And with this line, I think it's one of the tech trees that most people have skipped. Yes, most people have actually skipped this line. How many of you that you have used free XP because you just got bored? Because they can be boring, especially back in the day. Like, now, not so bad, because of course this does have amazing DPM. It didn't used to have that DPM, the same as the Tortoise. It's always had good DPM, but I think it's even better now. But yeah, all the line, like from sort of tier 7, 8, 9, they should be known as the heavily armoured tank destroyers, you know. The tier 5, however, is extremely, extremely strong. But yeah, it's of course doesn't have the penetration, and it can get a little bit boring because of the speed, you know. They're so freaking slow. You struggle to do anything. Sometimes you get into game, especially if it's a big map. You get into game, and by the time you get there, the game's almost finished. So yeah, it can be very, very boring. So this game, you can see the armor profile can work when you're sort of angled, but yeah, it's very hard for it to work. I've managed to bounce 2,280 damage. So yeah, you can get the bounces, but to be honest, you just can't rely on that armor. If you're angling, yeah, it does make it a bit stronger, but even now, like, I'm trying to angle, it's just a no-go. Now I've got this Object 274A behind me. Of course, I'm trying to turn around, and because I was at that perfect angle when he shoots, I did get lucky in getting the bounce. So 2,590 block damage. Again, you can get big damage with this tank. You can. It is possible, because as long as you've got the shots and they're not looking at you so much, you can get the shots off. But you've just got to keep firing. You know, with the reload being so small, you've just got to keep firing as much as you possibly can. But yeah, put yourself in a right position, then yeah, you can have fun. You know, you can perma-track tanks, and you can have a lot of fun in the tank. But for me, it didn't need the DPM buff. When Wargaming buffed the DPM, like, it didn't need that. In my opinion, it just needs an armor profile boost, you know. Give it a better armor profile. Makes stuff slightly worse, makes stuff slightly better. And yeah, you come up against these tank destroyers, like, yeah, you got no chance, except for the 50 TP, who shoots me in the wrong position. And I did manage to get a lucky bounce there for 420. I'd be a one-shot. Now, I am a one-shot, of course, to the ISU 152, but you can get bounces, and there is certain angles that you can take in this thing if you really do angle, but you can't over angle because your sides then become a lot weaker. So they'll just be able to shoot you try and angle, they can just shoot your sides. And of course, if not that, you've got both lots of cheeks, like either side, the bottom plate, and of course you've got that hatch on top as well. They are all weak, and they are all pennable with even the standard round. I mean, the cheeks next to either side of the gun, yeah, some people might struggle with their normal shell, but as soon as they switch to APCR, honestly, the tank becomes butter. And it's the same as the Tortoise in tier 9. As soon as people switch to the APCR or their heat, it just becomes like butter. And that's my only problem with the tank, and that's the only thing I would change. You know, lower the DPM. It doesn't need 4,000 DPM. Yes, it's nice, I'm not going to lie, but in all honesty, I would prefer the armor than DPM, because you're going to be able to bounce more, you're going to be able to survive a lot longer. I don't mind about the speed. The speed is what it is, you know, you get used to that. Yes, it can get boring over time, especially if you are grinding, because you just constantly need to play it and play it and play it. And when you spend most of your time, most of your battle just going forward and not having any shots, then yeah, it does become very, very boring. But you get past that, you get yourself into a good position that you got shots off, then it does become a much fun tank to play. And again, you angle right, then you can get shots. You know, you've got the accuracy there. That shot on the Pantera, I think, was a very nice shot. But overall, the tank can perform. It just, for me, needs a slight change. It really does. But Wargaming, well done on the camouflage. You know, I just think at the minute it does look tatty because it hasn't got HD, and it definitely isn't my device. But yeah, it has the opportunity to look really, 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 really good. And it is a good camouflage. It looked fantastic. It just needs that PBR, you know, a bit more graphics in the camouflage. But let's see what they bring in a couple of days' time in the next Battle Pass. But for now, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsyreplays, and I'll catch you all sooner. Bye-bye. With